bit of backstory is a requirement for your understanding of this tale that I am to tell with this campaign. For the first part, way back when I had written Azrath, bits of its information are necessary for Darkhold's understanding. In Azrath, there was a group of individuals who were the main party, who were known as the Heroes of Destiny. A string of shamans at the time had prophecies and other visions telling of a great cataclysmic event that would level everything. And one individual in particular had taken that information and wanted to make it their job to prevent such an atrocity from happening. And his name was Mephistopheles. So, when the Heroes of Destiny first met up, he was their sworn guide, providing them with assistance, help, and an uncanny amount of knowledge for somebody who claimed to be mortal. It was quickly revealed that Mephistopheles was in cahoots with one of the major gods of the Azrath universe, who will be remaining unnamed for now, though some of you may know. But, as time went on, they grew bitter and resented each other, which eventually caused them to part ways, one seeking revenge and the other moving on from the situation entirely. As gods began to vanish, and the party's actions seemed more and more inclined to be causing the problem than fixing it, the gods stepped back in. And through many different methods, Mephistopheles was no more, though his return was expected by everyone. Members of the Heroes of Destinies died off, eventually replaced by some other vessel, until the final showdown against the creator of the universe and the party, in a land beyond the continent that the main story took place on. And as described, it was a place where the ideas of the world went to die. And it was called the Farlands. But after that battle, the cataclysmic event still happened, and the universe collapsed into nothingness. But when God closes a door, you break a window to get back out. And that God crawled between the fingers of destruction and came into a new world. Lilith was the first to be born into this world naturally, and her whole god wasn't really there. Though he did sit in the sidelines and observe, watching her progress, and eventually finally saying something, and prompting her to start creating. They had started small. Planets, other celestial bodies. Eventually the first star was born. And from that star, many more followed. Though creation comes with a price. Lilith's sanity slowly drained over time, and they've started to hate the other god that was with them, to the point where they questioned why they were even there. And it was around that time Lilith created the first being that was sentient enough to think for itself, and it was also another god. Their name was Ash, the god of fire and brimstone. And as time crept forward, more and more forces and necessities to the universe began gaining personification and becoming part of the Elder Pantheon. As the gods grew accustomed to their new homes, the main world as which to this world's whole story eventually came into existence. And that world was a paradise, created purely for the joy and wonders of being able to do anything that the mind could dream of. But all good things come to an end. Darkhold is not excluded from that. Eventually, an unknown force started to strip the gods away from their power, exiling them to unknown places and leaving the mortal beings distraught as to where their power went. Eventually, it all fell apart. Completely. And it was around this time that an outside force had noticed this paradise and started an invasion. And because the residents of Darkhold did not have the power of their gods backing them in their defense, they were swiftly overran. This is where the Reclaimers come in. Their story is unknown for now. However, someone sent them. And their whole purpose is to bring the gods back together in harmony into their pantheons, expel the invading forces that are on Darkhold, and hopefully bring an end to this war and all the bloodshed that it has caused. A familiar returning face from Azrath, who was a member of the old Heroes of Destiny, is going to be joining the Reclaimers. Though his knowledge of the outside world from the Darkhold perspective is unknown, it is still in the air just how much he is hiding, if anything at all. But there's one god that remains, and it is our nameless deity, who hopefully, through both collective efforts of the party and himself, will be able to guide the troops to victory and retake the land that belongs to them.